Liverpool have started the season convincingly, with Virgil van Dijk returning and performing well. Last season, the Reds had to handle their injury crisis, but eventually it caught up to them. A third place finish for the Reds was flattering, given the circumstances. However, this season, many expect to see a more consistent Liverpool side and their attack back to its effective ways. Like many top managers, Klopp evolves and constantly looks to implement new ideas to break down his opposition. This tactical analysis will look to see if we can notice any new patterns and what principles have remained from Liverpool's previous seasons under the German manager. Also, the Football Manager replication tactic and the results. So, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you like the video, you can share it, and in the comments, you can send in your content recommendations. Also, if you enjoy watching free football, then you might want to check this out. One Football and the RDF Tactics channel have chosen to collab once again. Downloading this app would help this channel out in many ways, but why exactly should you download it? The One Football app is an excellent app for football fans. It's the best place to check recent news, legally watch matches, yes, for free, and you can follow your team and be notified when something major happens. It's also great to check out the latest transfer rumours, and if you're like me, you don't want to miss out on any rumours. Transfer season can be fun. Once all the league starts up as well, it's a great app to check statistics. This channel creates recreations. Using the One Football app helps grab vital stats, but also you will have access to team lineups before the football match starts. This is a great app if you want to follow football around the world or get the latest news just on your team. So make sure you try it out, but it does also help this channel out a lot and gives it many great opportunities to grow. So give it a go, and I promise you won't regret it. Liverpool have started in their typical 4-3-3 formation, which we expected. So in terms of the team shape on the team sheet, nothing has changed for the new season. At times, Liverpool's attacking shape during the games resembled more of a 2-1-4-3 that saw both fullbacks push up to the midfield unit alongside the two central midfielders. Although this unit was hardly ever vertical, as we saw many positional rotations. The 4-3-3 formation is fluid that has players roaming and interchanging, making Liverpool unpredictable and difficult to withstand. Opponents have a difficult time tracking players when Liverpool transition from their creative stage to their penetrating. When Liverpool played out from defence, the central defenders circulated the ball to open up a passing lane to a fullback. The fullback see a lot of the ball. Against Norwich, Kostas Tsimikas had 82 touches, which was the second most for Liverpool, whilst receiving the ball the fourth most, 42 times. Trent Alexander-Arnold had 68 touches and received the ball from his teammates 32 times. The fullbacks are heavily involved because Liverpool tend to build up with a wider shape, which opens up the central channels. When Liverpool cannot work the ball as they hoped, they are not afraid of utilising their ball-playing defender, Virgil van Dijk, who would then attempt to break teams down with a long diagonal pass. Naby Keita also does much roaming during the build-up phase and comes deep to collect the ball, and also has the responsibility to occupy the central pivot space if the pivot moved alongside or between Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip, just like their attack positional rotations. In attack, Liverpool also used the wider areas to create their chances, and Trent Alexander-Arnold created the most shot-creating actions with 5 in their opening game. The fullbacks play a crucial role. Using the fullbacks in the wider area is how they scored their first goal against Norwich. After patient build-up from the back, James Milner played the ball out wide to Alexander-Arnold, who had acres of space. After slowly progressing with the ball to assess his options, he fizzes in a pass to Mo Salah, who miscontrolled the ball, but after a slice of good fortune, the ball fell into Diogo Jota's path and he smashed home the opener. This goal also highlights that Liverpool do not just use the wider areas purely to cross the ball into the box. They are also effective at working the ball into the box from these wider areas. Trent undoubtedly has a great cross, and Liverpool does utilise that strength on top of working to find different routes and avenues to work the ball into the box from the flanks. Here, Liverpool's fullbacks, though not exclusively, make underlapping runs, and this played a part in their chance creation as it created space in vital areas between the defenders. If the player making the run is found, he can drive towards the byline to play a pass across the goal or pull it back to a teammate, resulting in a clear scoring chance. In their transition to attack, Liverpool move with pace and certainly will continue with their counter-attacking approach after winning the ball. It is what they are great at. With Diogo Jota starting in Liverpool's opening game, the front three shared the responsibility of dropping to collect the ball and was usually decided by where the ball was. If Liverpool were on a quick counter on the left, then Mane or Jota would drop deep to help with the transition. On the right, it would be Salah or Jota. To summarise the attack, Liverpool like to attack with pace, use the wider channels, rotate positions and counter after winning possession. There were some intriguing underlaps, so that is certainly something to keep an eye out for. Defensively, we expect to see a typical Liverpool side out of possession, press high, prevent the goalkeeper from distributing efficiently and look to win the ball back soon after losing it. Liverpool force the opponents outside, and when they press, they form defensive triangles or diamonds depending on how many players the opponents have in that wider area. Forcing the opponents outside can result in the opponents playing backwards or making mistakes if the press is set up well, because if they pass the ball centrally, Liverpool will pounce and can counter, but also the touchline is an extra defender as the player in possession cannot play the ball out wide. As Liverpool force their opponents out wide, Liverpool's fullbacks do well in pushing up and engaging with the opponent's wider players and use the opponent's pass out wide as their pressing trigger. In this scenario, it forced the central defender in possession to pass it back, allowing Liverpool to push their defensive line higher. As the ball is worked back eventually to Tim Krul, he had little option but to kick the ball long as the attacking players pressed and closed down his passing options. Liverpool then recovered possession. They also deploy a man-marking system of assault higher up the pitch, making it difficult for the attacking team to find the right passing option. This aggressive approach off the ball puts pressure on the opponents and forces errors in possession so Liverpool can use their deadly counter-attacks. But unfortunately, that wraps up this Jurgen Klopp tactical analysis. In terms of team shape and overall approach, not much has changed to maybe 2 seasons ago. We may see subtle tactical changes, slight improvements and new intriguing setups to break down sturdy defences this season. But now we are going to go into Football Manager to look at the Football Manager tactic that I've replicated for Liverpool and see how well or bad it went. So here we are in Football Manager, and just like Jurgen Klopp, we have set up in a 4-3-3. So I'm going to go through the team instructions and the player roles and instructions, but I'm not going to go into the stats with too much detail. We can go to the website where all the screenshots of the stats will be posted. Now to start with the team instructions, the mentality is set to positive, the attacking width is set to wide, but you can change this to fairly wide. For me in Football Manager it was more effective using fairly wide, but with this test I did stick with the wide attacking width. I wanted to emphasize on getting the ball out wide, especially to the fullbacks. For the approach play, we are going to play out from the defence and with a roaming playmaker in central midfield. Hopefully we do get that roaming movement of the roaming playmaker dropping deeper. We do also have underlap on the left and underlap on the right. For me, that was intriguing to see Liverpool use this tactical idea, but in Football Manager you can remove this. I just wanted to emphasize on it as for me it was intriguing. The passing directness is set to standard, so it's default with the positive mentality which aims to knock the ball about, and the tempo is on slightly higher, trying to move the ball about slightly in a more urgent fashion. In the final third we are going to send in whipped crosses because I feel the attacking three have great off the ball movement and this can cause issues in the opponent's box. We are too going to work the ball into the box and run at the defence. In transition, when the possession has been lost, just like Liverpool, we will counter press soon after losing the ball, and when the possession has been won, we will make our counter attacking movement. When the goalkeeper is in possession, he will look to distribute the ball quickly. Lastly, for the team instructions, you can see that we were set up aggressively. So we do have the much higher line of engagement, the higher defense line, defensive width is set to narrow, and we are also using the offside trap. We're using the tighter marking, the more urgent pressing intensity, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, and also get stuck in. So there's the team instructions. Now for the player roles. In goal, we do have a sweeper keeper on the defensive duty who's going to be taking fewer risks. In central defence, we have a pairing of a ball playing defender and a central defender. The ball playing defender will look to pass it shorter and dribble less. Central defender similar, but also has take fewer risks. Out wide in the left fullback area, we have a fullback with the attacking duty, going to cross from the byline and close down more. He's going to leave his position, especially when we look to force the opponents out wide, and hopefully he will engage in the opponent's wider players further up the pitch. The fullback on the right is a fullback with the supportive duty. He's going to take more risks with his passing, cross more often, dribble less so he has a pass first mentality, get further forward to support the attacks, sit narrower and also close down more. In defensive midfield, we have a ball-winning midfielder. In the opening games, I saw James Milner acting almost as a ball-winning midfielder. Also, when Thiago played in this role last season, he did put in a shift in trying to close down the opposition. This doesn't mean that he was tackling harder, being aggressive and slide tackling all over the pitch, but he did put continuous pressure on the opponents. He does have the instruction to take fewer risks, to try and play a more high percentage pass, and he also has dribble less to have a pass first mentality. In central midfield, we have a box-to-box midfielder who's going to be staying wider, hopefully get some nice positional rotations on the right side, and on the left side of central midfield, we are using a Roman playmaker trying to replicate that Naby Keita role. He does have shoot less often because he does find himself on the edge of the opponent's box, and when he does, I would just like for him to shoot less often than he does on Football Manager. On the left of the attacking trio, we have an inside forward on the supportive duty who's going to be getting further forward, and on the right is the Mo Salah role, the inside forward but on the attacking duty who's going to be shooting more often. Lastly, up top, we do have a false 9 on the supportive duty because we can't change that, and he has a pass first mentality as well with the shoot less often. So that there wraps up the tactic. That is everything you need to know. We're now going to look at the results and see how Liverpool did using my Jurgen Klopp replicated tactic. So let's look at the results, I guess. So in all competitions, and to keep things short basically, we won every single trophy. So we won the Premier League, the UEFA Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and if you want to count the Community Shield, we also won that. So technically we won the quadruple plus the Community Shield. In the Premier League, we won 34 out of the 38 games, drawing 3 and losing 1. That one loss came away to Chelsea, which was a 3-0 defeat, disappointingly. We did end the season with 105 points, and in the UEFA Champions League, we beat PSG 2-1 in a game I felt that we were the stronger team. Mane put us ahead, Kylian Mbappe equalised for PSG before Juan Bernat scored an own goal or an own winning goal in the 48th minute. For PSG, Messi didn't have a great game with a 6.1 match rating. In the FA Cup, we also won that, beating Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 in the final. Divock Origi was the top goal scorer in the whole competition, scoring 7 goals. In the Carabao Cup, we managed to beat Arsenal 4-3, and we don't really have any top goal scorers in this competition, but we do have Kostas Tsimikas with 3 assists in that competition. And in the Community Shield, of course, we beat Arsenal at the start 1-0, Jordan Henderson getting that goal. So in the Premier League, we scored the most goals with 102, 20 more than Chelsea. We did have the most shots for and the fewest shots against. For the pass completion, we had 89%, so we wasn't too bad in possession, and for the average possession, we had the second most with 56%. With the dribbles made, we came third with 159. We did have the most clean sheets with 25, and also the fewest conceded. For the player stats, Mo Salah was the top goal scorer with 29 goals. Roberto Firmino scored 15. I can't remember the last time he scored that many in a league campaign. For the most assists, Thiago with 16, Mo Salah also got 10 as well, so he had a very good season. He did have the most shots with 122. Van Dijk is also on that list. For the Man of the Match awards, Mo Salah got 7, Thiago got 5. For the most key passes, Thiago with 185. And for the best pass completion, Joel Matip for Liverpool on 96%. As we can see here down at the bottom, for the expected goals, Mo Salah topped that list with 22.16. He also scored the most goals per 90 and had the second most shots per 90 as well. Looking at the schedule is just a thing of beauty, as we see so many greens. We do have a yellow here, or whatever colour this is, with a draw away to Manchester City, and we also have that same iffy colour at home against Benfica. But other than that, we won every single game all the way down to the 1st of January, where we draw 0-0 with Leeds, and then we went on another winning streak, losing 3-0 away in February to Chelsea. Again, another nice winning streak or unbeaten run towards the end of the season, and when it got to the Champions League quarterfinals, we managed to knock out Chelsea with a 2-1 victory in both legs. Bayern Munich, we drew 1-1 at home before beating them 4-1 away, and in the final, of course, like we've seen, we beat PSG 2-1 in the final. So if you look at the results, plenty of greens, very nice to look at. But lastly, we are going to look at the squad to see who were the top goal scorers and who had the most assists, also the highest average rating. So we'll start with the highest average rated player, which is Thiago with a 7.54 average rating in all competitions. Trent comes in second, with Mo Salah coming in third. So the top 3 players for Liverpool during the season was Thiago, Trent and Mo Salah, which is not a surprise at all. For the top goal scorers, Mo Salah scored 35 in all competitions, Firmino scored 17, Mane scored 16 and Divock Origi, who had a decent season playing as a backup striker, scored 14. Lastly, for the assist, Thiago got 21, Shaqiri got 15, Mo Salah got 14, Trent Alexander-Arnold got 11 and Tsimikas got 10. But unfortunately, that wraps up this video, and if you enjoyed this content, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. You can like the video and also leave in the comment section any content recommendations you may have. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening. Also, don't forget you can go to the website to check out more stats from Football Manager. My name is RDF, it's been a pleasure, I'll speak to you guys soon and stay safe. And also, don't forget to download that OneFootball app.